Georgia's football team will not be visiting the White House to celebrate the 2023 national championship. They were invited to join the celebrations at the nation's capital in the summer, and the quote comes down as, from a spokesperson with Georgia, unfortunately, the date suggested is not feasible given the student-athlete calendar and time of year. However, we are appreciative of the invitation and look forward to other opportunities for Georgia teams moving forward. You and I have the same stance on this. You get the opportunity to go to the White House, you take it. Especially, as far as student athletes are concerned, the history of the country and what the White House represents, and the student athlete calendar doesn't fit the same time frame as the invitation from the president to celebrate your national championship. What are we doing? As an institution of higher learning, quote unquote.
Yeah.
What is going on?
I get mad at, I don't care about your politics or whether you love a president or despise them.
Exactly.
When you get the invitation to be celebrated at the White House from the President of the United States, it is a respect thing that you do it. This kind of goes back to the people who get really offended or upset with one thing and then not the other. I felt the same way with people that would say, I don't agree with Donald Trump, so I'm not going to go when my team goes to the White House because I disagree with the president. I think that's foolish. You get invited by the President of the United States of America in that office. You respect the office. You go. You shake hands with the president. And if you really got something you want to tell them and you want to disagree with them in some way, then you can do it. Now, with this thing with Georgia, I need a little more info because it is odd, the timing of it, where they turned around the UConn and LSU championship teams quickly to come in May. Then they won the title in January, and it's taken this long to get the invite, and it's this far out, and it's in the summer. But even if the schedule wasn't good, wouldn't you come back and say, we can bring a delegation of this many people, but the entire team can't make it? Or, Hutton, wait for it, ask if there's another time they could come when it works. Can't you work something out other than just saying the time the White House gave us doesn't work, so we're not doing it?
Well, but they didn't attend Georgia's back-to-back. They didn't attend in 2021 because of the COVID restrictions. That kept them from attending. And if you're just comparing to how quickly teams will go and celebrate their championship, Clemson did it, a week or two after winning the title.
Yeah.
All these things. And two things come to mind for me. Number one, all these COVID bans and restrictions and vaccination statuses have just been lifted. This invitation came on May 3rd. So that's around the same time. Number two, I'm sorry, University of Georgia, but your student-athlete calendar is probably a little bit less important than whatever's going on in D.C. and their calendar. So if they're giving you dates, you work that into whatever you've got going on, and those that can attend should attend, and those that can't because they're in the NFL or whatever they're doing. But the restrictions of the month of June are really the reason why you're pointing to all this?
I don't know why this is the answer. Our student schedule is such that we can't make it work, as opposed to Hutton saying, I can come with 15 people if you're Kirby Smart or the AD or whoever.
Or whatever.
And we can be on, or we want to be there. We're not saying no, but because of the schedule and because of we waited so long for this, or you did, understand that a lot of our players are in the NFL and can't make it.
Well, let's also say this. Alabama, after they won the title in 2017, I believe, was their year, they went to the White House in April. It was 2018 when they won. They went to the White House in April, not in January. The student-athlete calendar then, what are you doing then? Finals. Spring semester.
Yeah.
Student-athlete calendar worked to that benefit.
Again, just bring someone. The conversation should have been, that's tough. Is there another day? And if they say, oh, there's no other day, our schedule is busy, obviously, if you're the White House, then you say, okay, we can't bring our full group, but we're going to bring a delegation of Georgia Bulldogs there to be celebrated.
And not
done.
Exactly. And look, knowing whatever we did the international trip to London when I was with the Titans, the number of players that did not have a passport, right? The number of rookies that come into a college program that have never been on a plane before. The ability to take them to the nation's capital should be above the ability to say, you know what, it's June, and it just doesn't fit into our calendar. Sorry. By the way, the expansion of the college football playoff absolutely does fit into the student-athletes calendar. You know, that's
We'll make that work.
That's a weak excuse. And I don't know. I think you're not taking everything into full account whenever you're saying, hey, no, we're going to decline this. Meanwhile, LSU, by the way, with all of the drama, all of the headlines that stirred the pot, they're going. They'll be there with UConn whenever they're celebrating their title with the men's title. And meanwhile, the Georgia Bulldogs declining the title run here just doesn't fit into the calendar of June.
Well, as a fan of our country, the United States of America, and as a lover of American history, if I'm on that Georgia Bulldogs football team, I am pissed off at my administration for turning that opportunity down. I'd be saying, you're telling me I don't get to go to the White House, get the grand tour, and then meet a sitting president of the United States? That's a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Everyone that you've ever known, you're watching right now and you're listening, if you know someone who has met a U.S. president and shook their hand, they remember that moment. And now Georgia's robbing that moment of every player on that team and coach on that team because of a student calendar scheduling conflict.
For back-to-back years. The calendar didn't fit the COVID calendar for the administration in 2021 after their title. And now for the second consecutive year after back-to-back championships, they're not going to accept the invitation that was issued on May 3rd.
I'd like to add that their classes start on June 8th. So Georgia, with this football program we've seen, they've got a lot of high-quality student athletes that we can tell are really putting forth the effort and time when it comes to their schoolwork, not having any off-the-field issues. So, the school's just giving them that opportunity to get settled in for that week of summer classes.
Do weekends exist in the state of Georgia?
A Georgia wide receiver, I think, was just arrested, I think, as we were talking.
Maybe that's it. They don't want to take them. They don't want to have anything bad happen at the White House, given all their recent off-the-field incidents.
I mean.
Just a theory.
Yeah, I just looked
Stetson Bennett's in L.A. now, guys. What are they doing? What do you see?
Well, I was looking up the name of the Georgia wide receiver. I'm not laughing at the charges. Multiple charges, including DUI, was arrested. But his name is Denylon Morissette. And I'm like, if this is like Alanis Morissette, had a child and became a receiver, Denylon Morissette, the receiver.
Isn't that ironic?
Who was arrested. Very ironic.
One of the advisors is just like, Kirby, we can't risk taking these guys up there.
We
can't even keep them out of trouble down here where we have the law on our side.
Maybe they are looking up and saying, this is just going to put another spotlight on our culture issues here at Georgia. You know who doesn't care about culture issues at Georgia? Georgia fans, because they won back-to-back national championships. They don't care one bit about culture problems.
You know who would go and take the opportunity to put their brand on the pedestal that day? Alabama.
Probably.
Saban did it. He would do it again.
What if TCU?
They would fit that into the...
What if the national runner-up TCU said, we'll go?
What if TCU gets the invite now?
We will now invite every conference champion from this past year to the White House instead.
TCU will join us with the Iowa women's basketball program.
There will be a separate reception with Dr. Jill Biden that will feature all national runner-ups. And she invited the Iowa team as well. Iowa, TCU, San Diego State. Please come on down. I don't even know who the hell won the college baseball national championship or who lost. I don't care enough to know. But whoever the runner-up is, they'll get invited also.